are here today to bear witness to the execution of Horace Pinker, whose unspeakable atrocities have horrified the people of this great state. He stands convicted of 52 counts of aggravated assault, 23 counts of armed robbery, and 37 counts of murder in the first degree.
Greetings, welcome to this edition of the Halloween episode, another Halloween episode of the Cinema Schlock Society. I am John.
Yes, you.
Yeah.
We'll start there.
Start again.
Start again.
I'm right in front.
Yes, you're in front. For your sins, you're in front. All right. All right. Greetings to this Halloween edition of the Cinema Schlock Society. My name is John.
Larissa.
Greg.
April.
James.
Brett. David.
Corey.
Lynn.
Alexis.
Kelly.
Matt.
You
And
can,
I'm Chris.
you can say it now, Chris. You're good.
I said it. And,
Yeah.
And continuing on from our previous, well, we've boozed up, we've recovered from Piranha 2, The Spawning, and even have some new
Emmy Award winning.
Yes, award-winning spectacle of Piranha 2, The Spawning. But we're going to continue on with the theme of good directors having really bad days. And this one is a particularly interesting bad day from a otherwise good director, in this case, Wes Craven. Now, when you think of a bad movie by Wes Craven, what are you going to think?
976 Evil?
Was that him?
I think so.
We'll find out.
We'll find out later.
Judges,
Yeah.
we'll be back next year.
Well, off the top of my head, I mean, the only thing I can think of is, well, it's going to be Shocker!
Yeah.
It's Shocker!
Well, he quit when he was ahead, so that definitely helped.
And then explain Music of the Heart.
I can't. I have no. Then why did you mention Music of the Heart when you were just making that example?
Powerful university computers cannot explain that movie.
Well, actually, no, I can definitely explain it. Craven never wanted to do horror to begin with. That's the kind of movies he wanted to do, but somehow he got roped into these movies, and
Good at them.
yeah.
Well, if you actually sit and watch Last House on the Left, it looks like he really wanted to do bad comedy. Half of that movie.
Yeah, some of that.
The comical cops during this in between the rape scenes. I mean, it's not
and
exactly.
the parents making you cake.
Right, exactly.
Well, Shocker is a very confused case. I mean, on one side, when you look at that trailer, you look like it's going to be like a paranormal thriller about a serial killer who comes back from the dead. But then you go into it, and the first half of the movie really doesn't give that away. It doesn't even say. It takes forever to even get to the paranormal twist on this movie. So
Somebody really wanted to make a sequel to A Nightmare on Elm Street that wasn't A Nightmare on Elm
most of
Street.
the story actually is possession, which the trailer doesn't show, and it just shows the TV aspect, which is like the last 10 minutes. Like, it's not...
Spoilers.
So, actually, on a related topic, how many people have seen this movie?
I've seen it.
I've seen it.
I've seen it.
I think.
I own it for free!
Yeah, actually, we got it for free. Actually, we got it as a prize in a costume contest.
Did you want your money back?
That was your prize?
I think he burned the costume.
Was it the booby prize?
The people who gave it to us liked it, and apparently there are people in this world who do like this movie.
Wes Craven.
Wes Craven. Well, no, Wes Craven. Hey, it was enough that it's enough that the what was the name of the factory that makes the DVDs?
Scream Factory.
Screen Factory made a special edition Blu-ray of it. So apparently there are people in this world who want.
There's been some movies the Scream Factory put out in special editions, but it wasn't
Blu-ray.
exactly.
I would say 80% of their
They-
catalog is like that.
They ain't exactly Criterion Collection, okay?
But there are people in this world who will buy it.
Yeah, it's true.
That is true. I mean, I can only suspect maybe completionists who want the entire library of Wes Craven, including Music of the Heart.
And hey, I haven't seen it. It could be a
Dare.
hidden gem. Who knows?
Yeah.
No.
We're not watching.
Okay.
All right, many things that we will watch in the Cinema Schlock Society. Gem and the Holograms.
No!
Maybe one of
I
them.
used to watch that film.
We're on the second story. I don't want to have anybody die running out the window from that.
No.
It would make for a fun, visual.
No, dude, the glass cleanup alone will take
Yeah.
at least 10 minutes.
I still say
I don't
you
wanna
do
think
Dread
about
and Dread.
Hmm?
Judge Dredd and Dread.
Yeah, but Dread's good.
Yeah,
No,
Dread's-
that's the palate cleanser. That's the
Yeah,
save
okay,
our
fair
soul.
enough.
But that's all speculation.
Yeah.
But in the case of Shocker right now, one can basically say that Wes Craven was probably confused as hell as to what kind of movie he was making at that point. I mean, you got to wonder, where did the idea phase fall apart during the course of this movie.
Did he also write it?
I think he did. Yeah, he did.
Okay, so now I'm real because if you're directing a
Actually-
movie and you're like, I'm not really sure what this is supposed to be. I'm just gonna
Better
throw
question.
everything at the screen.
Well,
and see what
according
sticks.
to trivia and on the like, he wanted this to be part of a intended trilogy, kind of like how Terry Gilliam did with his Dreams trilogy
Okay.
with Time Bandits, Brazil, and Munchausen. That's what he wanted here with Nightmare on Elm Street, and this one he intended to have something with an equally fantastical
Yeah,
concept.
kind of like thematically.
Now, like I said, I haven't seen it, but I know enough about it. Wasn't there an episode of Tales from the Crypt? It was like one of the first episodes where a guy he's an ex-con or he's a con and he gets electrocuted and then he lives and then he uses electrical powers to kill people.
No, actually, what the one you're speaking of was the episode called "The Man Who Was Death." It wasn't
Yeah.
the first episode, but no, he was the guy who pulled the lever at the big house.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. It's a great episode. It had William Sadler in it, and
Right, but I could have sworn he was the guy who got killed.
No, he was basically outraged that there was a bunch of that criminals kept getting off the hook. So he did vigilante justice, and he basically did very elaborate electric-based traps for all the people who got away.
But guys dying in the electric chair and then getting electrical powers is kind of a trope. Now the question is, did Wes Craven invent that trope?
He doesn't really get electrical power.
Okay, whatever. Again, I haven't seen the movie. I just saw
that's
the
what we're going to
trailer.
find out. That's what we're going to find out when we see it.
First, to understand what
Spoilers, bro.
I
I just think this movie's about a very crude sexual gesture. That's what I have to go into, assuming.
Well, I mean, I don't want to hear crude sexual gestures with any movie starring Skinner from the X-Files.
Oh, I do.
Well, that's who plays the serial killer in this case. And actually,
You haven't read my Slack.
actually,
I was gonna say Mitch Pileggi was very, very popular with some of the ladies.
Was he?
Skinner is a good name for a horror villain, also. Like,
I think it has
Literally.
been the name of a killer in a serial killer. Comment section. Try to find killer in any. Well, I know where. 101 Dalmatians was the name of the guy. Was the name of the guy who Cruella de Vil hired to skin all the animals for all of her wardrobe.
well, that guy is just born to do that job.
Yeah.
It's like, you're destined for this.
Yeah, you were made to kill innocent animals and make coats out of them. And imagine telling that to a child, like,
Yeah, don't tell that to me. Thank you. I'm good.
Well, I think
Yeah.
they
What's your name?
I think they
Murder
sang
face.
Seema
What's your
yesterday.
occupation? I'm in a band.
That sounds so much better. I like that.
yeah, you're in a band now. I would have. You got to take the joke further. You should have said like, I'm gonna be in the clergy.
I'm a school teacher.
Father Murderface.
That's McMurderface, by the way.
I'm not gonna lie, but I have actually seen bills from a Dr. Deathlock.
That's pretty good.
I love
I'm
it.
like,
I've seen a dentist
Amazing.
named Payne, last name Payne. Which
Yeah?
is always good.
Well, as in P-A-I-N?
I don't remember. It's just Payne.
Oh, no,
I'm gonna get
it's too
drilled by
easy.
Dr. Payne.
Speaking of which, Dr. Giggles. Anyway,
Anyway, that's not this movie. That's not this movie. Oh no! It's one of the
sure
reasons.
we'll be
One of the
having lots
reasons
of
why
giggles
we
in this
opted. Another reason why we opted for this particular theme was because it's Halloween. You're gonna find bad horror movies are a dime a dozen. Actually, not even that. They're like a nickel a dozen.
Mhm.
Really. I don't know the
They
inflation.
gave it to
They're
you
on the-
as
they're-
a prize for a contest for free.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So you gotta think about it. It seems to be easier to make a bad horror film nowadays than it is to actually put forth the effort to try to make a good horror film and crash and burn so
That's
bad.
and if even Wes Craven can make a shitty horror film, then anybody can.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Let me go in the definition of what's a good bad horror movie and what's a bad.
A good bad horror movie would be when they set out to make a bad movie, kind of more as a parody or satire, like Saturday the 14th. And since it is bad, they've succeeded, so it's actually good. That's why it's a good bad.
I would even go so far as to say the Sharknado movies. I mean, you can look at those movies and tell that they were not taking this in any way seriously.
I mean, come on,
whatsoever.
they called
I
it
just-
Sharknado.
I have the opposite opinion. I think the best good bad movies are movies that they really, really wanted to be good and failed on every level. Those are the more fascinating ones.
So
Oh,
they're
I
fascinating. They're fascinating, but
Manos.
well, Manos or no, Birdemic.
Anything by Ed Wood. I mean, there's a level of
Yeah.
you got to admire.
I don't know. Ed Wood is
the
just
moxie.
like
Yeah.
Ed Wood had passion. That's the one thing you gotta say
Yeah,
about him. is that
exactly.
You had passion.
Sharknado is so soulless. It's like, well, let's just make a bad horror
Well,
movie. It's
yeah,
like, well,
because it has no soul, it's hard to make fun of it because it's like,
nobody was sitting there really thinking Sharknado.
It's like trying to poke fun at Grumpy Cat's Christmas when Grumpy Cat's pretty much already doing all the poking fun.
Now here's the question though: is what exactly was Wes Craven trying to accomplish with this movie? Was he trying to make the next Nightmare on Elm Street, or was he like, well, they want me to make the next Nightmare on Elm Street, so fuck it, I'll make this movie instead?
As it said, he was creating like a trilogy of similarly themed paranormal horror.
His Dollars trilogy, as a search.
Yeah, his Dollars trilogy or his Dreams trilogy, like Terry Gilliam had, or who are other ones who had like their own trilogies?
Robert Rodriguez technically, but that.
Coronado?
Or the Cornetto.
Oh, the Cornetto trilogy, yes.
Coronado.
He called it a trilogy, though. He called it the Jersey trilogy.
He just kind of expanded to Chronicles after that.
Okay, well, yeah, but I'm saying we started off.
Technically.
And now he's in Canada, and he really needs to get out of Canada.
Poor Canada.
One more to go. America won't let him back in.
No, he should never have had any goes. Walruses had bad reputations as they did, as they were. We don't need it. And now his poor daughters, and he's bringing Johnny Depp's daughter down with him.
And Johnny Depp, frankly.
And Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Johnny agreed to do it.
He did, unfortunately.
He could have said no.
And unfortunately, you all agreed to do this. So without further ado, let's just jump right into Wes Craven's shocker. Let's see if we actually will be.
Shocked?
No.
Let's just cut the camera. Cut the camera. Matt,
Future J.
camera.
All right.
Go get it. Run, camera, monkey.
Go, Frodo!
Prisoner, have any final words?
Yeah. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
And we're back. And,
The fuck was that?
Pretty much.
What kind of resolution was that? This is the second time we've seen it.
There wasn't any. There wasn't.
And I'm still trying to figure it out. So he put the necklace on the camera, so that automatically made it like
The power of love.
the Aryan girlfriend power camera.
The power of love.
The necklace was magic because it showed up on its own. Like he had a dream about it showing up, and then there it was, and then it got thrown into the lake, and then he had a dream about going into the lake to get it, had it, went back underwater again for some reason, got scared from his ghost girlfriend that he had already seen before.
Wait, does this work with money?
What?
And then he woke up again.
This was in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all there. That was all
This was a prime example of I would say this is the cinematic version of throwing everything in the kitchen sink, and the garbage disposal in the kitchen sink basically clogs and regurgitates, and this is what this movie was. Oh, incidentally, this movie was so bad it cost us casualties. Poor April had to fall, but we did gain Emmy.
Hi.
And we lost
No,
Matt,
that
too.
is April. That's her new Halloween costume.
It's a very good costume.
I really think that Wes Craven fell asleep one night watching TV and had a dream about people that could go from channel to channel, woke up and was like, how do I make this into a movie? And then he couldn't figure it out, so the movie started an hour and a half too early.
Yeah.
And it ended 45 minutes too soon. Like, if that I'm not even joking, if that last 20 minutes had been a full-length movie, well, if it was, it would have been called Stay Tuned with John Ritter. But...
Which I will take.
I
will take Stay Tuned.
But so I can only assume that whoever it is that made Stay Tuned saw this movie and was like, oh, that's a great idea. How about I actually make that into a movie that's relatively okay? Oh, Wes Craven.
I mean, the idea of a serial killer going into the television, and that's a pretty interesting idea. Wasn't it the last 10 minutes of the movie? It wasn't even. He was possessing people at first.
Which been there, done that.
The lead-in was standard, was subpar, but it's the obligatory gotta catch the killer, so that way he can be in that position where he can set that up. Return appearance by Big Trouble, who you might recall from our Street Fighter episode.
I disagree, John, because I feel like that opening wasn't necessary.
No.
They already proved in Nightmare on Elm Street. It'd be like if the first 45 minutes of Nightmare on Elm Street was Freddy Krueger as a normal dude running around killing people.
Yeah.
You don't need. You could have done that everything up until when the guy gets electrocuted.
You could have done that.
Problem is, if he does it like that, then people would have been saying, "Oh, he's narratively copying."
He already is.
Well, that is true.
This is a bad version of what he already did.
And also, the whole opening part with the serial killer being, just a serial killer and they're hunting him down. That was boring.
Yeah.
It was boring. It wasn't interesting. And then they had him doing. He was about to be executed. Oh, he's praying to his.
He's electrocuting himself.
Where did he get the jumper cables?
Right.
And the candles.
Or even just set that off. Set that off at least.
Well, the guards.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Now, normally, from what I understand with police, with executions, they always give them their last rites and stuff they request. Wouldn't they have been a bit suspicious if he had asked for a television, a pair of jumper cables, and candles?
Well, they were, but it was for his last meal, so they couldn't say no.
He was going to eat jumper cables.
And when they brought it in, they probably said, he better be eating that TV.
Well, and it was almost, they didn't, granted, paying attention to some of this dialogue was a little difficult, but there was also, they never established, was he trying to electrocute himself so that he could withstand the electrocution? Was this, because I know there's some movie where that was a plot point, where it's if I keep training myself to be able to withstand this electricity, I may survive the electrocution, but I don't know.
Well, I thought it was that first. I thought it was.
Yeah. You would think that. I guess they were setting up with all the TVs that was in his little hovel. I guess they were saying he worships television, but then I'm going, since when was there ever a deity for oh, wait a minute. Well,
and on top of that, they wound up on the top of the television, thing by accident. It wasn't that was his plan from the beginning.
I love how everyone thought that you guys thought that was the resolution when his possessed.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't think that. I was just hoping that
I was really hoping it was.
Oh, you guys were hoping.
I was hoping that was it.
No, they had that could have been a good final fight on the top of the tower, and he's possessing his father, and oh my god!
But the only good part of the movie wouldn't have happened.
No, instead, remote controls can control him.
Yes, but that's because TV.
This kid was basically surviving not only by the seat of his pants, but the shit that was in the seat of his pants.
Yes.
And more so, how can a man with a limb outrun a football player? I'm sorry, but that little
kid
girl's my favorite, okay?
That little girl.
I want that little girl.
That little girl, I hope to God she prospered, because Lord knows that she was the only solid performance in the entire.
Well, her and Ted Raimi.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I gotta give credit where it's due. Mitch Pileggi looked like he was having a good time.
Oh yeah,
he looked like he was having a great time being a killer in a Wes Craven movie.
He was definitely I want to be the Nooks from England. He was eating that scene.
Yeah, but they also were kind of. Now, when this film came out, we had several nightmares, correct?
Well, Wes Craven only did the first one and wrote the third one.
Okay,
so
but we had by that
we still
point.
had
at that point, yeah.
You're welcome to prime time.
Yeah, which is hilarious to have that sequence in there.
Right. But I'm saying is that now suddenly it's the serial killer has to be kind of one-liners and funny and ironic while he's killing people.
Yeah, when he says lines like, have to take over riding my Volkswagen.
Or what was it? Finger looking good. It's
you can hear them in Freddy Krueger's voice practically, but
we would rather hear it from Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
He can freaking do a power glove joke, and we're totally eating it up.
Yeah, if this was Robert Englund,
case in point, I did roll my eyes. I did what I think all of us did.
But if there's anyone who could get away with it and we can enjoy it, it would be him.
I laughed, I admit. I didn't groan, I just more rolled my eyes and laughed.
I was just expecting Spider-Man to show up and beat him up at some point,
Yeah.
And also, he just wasn't an interesting the villain was just not interesting. He was just
generic serial killer.
He also had no real motivation in the film. Anything.
No, it just began.
He's a killer. Why is he killing? Because he's a killer.
Yeah, and it wasn't like Child's Play where it's okay, I have to get into the body of this kid.
Yeah.
He was just chasing him around for no reason. I said earlier,
his only motivation came because this kid beat him basically from the first.
But he survived the electrocution. He gave up.
Yeah.
Just saying, he did give up.
Well, yeah, because somehow he had to pick the one roof that was locked. Oh, wait a minute, most roofs are locked from the top for obvious reasons, so serial killers don't get in.
Yeah.
And there's never a moment where he looked surprised at what happened after he got electrocuted. It'd be great if there's at some point he's just jumping from body to body and be like, I didn't expect any of this to happen, but hey, great.
I think that's what he's praying to the God for.
I guess.
Yeah.
This is a universe where God doesn't exist, apparently. There's ghosts.
God is in the TV.
God is in the TV. God was in the TV. Johnny Carson was still the host of the Tonight Show, so God was technically in the TV.
Was the Was this some sort of message on too much TV in people's lives?
You know,
this was definitely Wes Craven's attempt at something resembling a satire.
Well, the last 20 minutes was actually pretty funny. Like, there were definitely moments where I'm like, all right, this is actually kind of hilarious.
It seemed like
like the whole sequence when they're in the TV.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that's not a joke.
And even then, I mean, it's weird that I'm actually going to go to this as a better example, but Idiot's Lantern in Doctor Who, where you had like a malicious entity inside the TV that was actually sucking people's identities out. Of course, it was like done as kind of like a more innocent way, but even then, it's still scarier, the idea that there's a malicious entity inside something that's inside every home.
I did actually think of that episode of Doctor Who when I was watching this.
Yeah, which honestly, they could have done a more R-rated version of it, which honestly would have been equally scary. Yeah. I mean, and that's...
they kind of have before. I mean, Halloween 3, they were using the TV.
Which we are going to explore one day.
But, where they use the TV to siphon energy and kill people. This was just... It was almost like tacked on at the end.
It's like, I think I'll hide in the TV now.
And the funny thing is, everything that's in the trailer is in the last, 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, because when we saw the trailer, I think somebody said, oh, wow, that actually looks kind of good.
Yeah, even there's even a bit where they end up on the set of Natural Born Killers, where with Edie McClurg and Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. So, do you think that Wes Craven wrote the script, and it wasn't until he got to the end that he realized, I can have a sequence where he's going through the TV?
One could probably surmise that he probably wrote that part first.
Well, but then why wasn't that the whole movie though? That's what I'm curious.
Well, he's probably having a hard time leaning into that. Sometimes you have an idea at the end, and you're like, okay, well, the problem is I got to lead into that.
If they had cut everything between when he was electrocuted in the electric chair to the point where he wound up in the TV, that you could have, you know what I mean?
Well, sure, you could have started the movie at the execution.
That too.
You should really
Thank God.
I think this has been a great learning experience for us to know that we shouldn't just use the first draft of a script. Definitely read it and rewrite it.
It was Monday. It was due Monday morning, and it was Sunday night. And Wes Craven's like, "Shit, I gotta finish this fucking thing."
It's done.
And then meanwhile, George Lucas is looking at this pattern, going, "Yeah, that's a good idea."
We are not going to bring up that man.
I was going to say, the thing that sticks out to me about the entire film is it does feel like it was one of those situations, and it happens a lot, where a studio will approach a certain director that's popular and say, we want you to bring what you did to our studio and just do what you do. And then they paid him a bunch of money. He sat down, wrote a script, and he was like, I'm not really even fully into this. And I just did this. I don't really want to retract this, but this is what they want. So I think that's truly what he gave them.
Do you think that, because all the stuff up to the TV part was very Nightmare on Elm Street, like the dream stuff?
Yeah. It was way too close.
Do you think that was the
probably
studio?
Studio executives that were saying to him, and it was people in that time. Universal were like people like Sid Sheinberg.
They just wanted to see another Nightmare,
and they just wanted that. And he probably wanted something a little different.
I would give him the benefit, because I like Wes Craven. I think he's very talented. I would give him the benefit of the doubt that he came up with the TV element, but then they were like, well, you got to put in all this stuff.
He probably had. That was probably. It could have been that TV element. Think about it. If you could. It was probably a deleted element from something that he had in his head for possibly
in another
Nightmare 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the part with the Welcome to Prime Time bitch, like that. Yeah,
it could have been.
I mean, I could have easily from that. It could have easily seen like this really cool idea where maybe just a random serial killer, like a notorious serial killer, maybe dies in prison, but somehow by some weird spiritual means ends up
in TV
into the television, and all of a sudden he turns out, or even in a similar vein to Child's Play, where he ends up in a
television factory
or in an electronics store or something like that. Or I mean, actually, this is one of those I usually am not. I'd say please let's not do that. But in the case of this one,
I agree with this.
I would actually want to see this done as a remake.
100%.
Because with technology as it is nowadays, I mean, come on, we're recording this on an iPad.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see them do this concept, even though we have had very ill-advised Japanese remakes.
Yeah. It was like Nightmare on Elm Street meets Natural Born Killers meets The Ring.
Kind of thing.
Really good.
But I would like to see them have another go at this concept, but hopefully a little bit better.
I think one of the things that stands out about the movie for me is the fact of how many old school types of effects that were used in the making of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, my hat goes off. It goes off to the stunt people, the doubles especially for these guys.
Yeah.
Because they are taking some hard falls, like, all the time. The guy, I mean, Dane Farwell, who later ended up being Ghostface in 3 out of the 4 Scream movies. So he definitely started his career with Wes, like, here, and was the double for Peter Berg on this. And they are taking some really hard falls to the ground, and they're using a lot of like pyro that's like very close to the face.
Yeah,
it's
a
not
lot of that
poorly
stuff
crafted
now,
movie.
it would be softened.
If there's any beef that we have with this movie, it is not
It's narrative.
It is entirely on a storytelling element. I mean, even acting wise, with the exception of, let's face it, the girlfriend, who basically you could have replaced her with a plank of wood and she would have had.
Well, she was 80s Kristen
I almost had an
Stewart.
expression.
Yeah, that was 80s Kristen Stewart. She even had the mouth perpetually open.
Also, and I noticed this, and Abby pointed this out too, is like in one scene she was, well, most of the movie she was blonde. In one scene she was a brunette, and I'm
Well,
like,
that's because she was covered in blood.
I still
No,
don't
but not
think
not the part that had
because
the
she
blood
had
on it. It was like
highlights.
here.
I'm telling you, it was blonde highlights,
Well,
but
she was
still.
soaking in a tub of her own blood.
I just would not be surprised if that was a reshoot. Like, because
I would not
that was the
be
scene where she gives him the rocket for the first time.
Yeah, but she could have worn a wig.
Well,
In the 80s, they didn't have nice wigs.
Reshoots back in the day were not done as often as they are today.
True.
In any case, in closing,
Anyways, yes.
in closing, we have no beef. Wes Craven, God rest you, we miss you. First off,
If you're inside this iPad, we respect
if we're
you.
inside this iPad, we do love you. But let's face it, even the best have a bad day. And in closing, this was definitely, I would say, your worst day, right next to Cursed, I guess. Yeah. Woof.
Ooh.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
on that note, I would say shocker, not your best work. And would everyone else feel the same way?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But we still love you.
Yeah. Actually, we haven't said that. The soundtrack.
The soundtrack to this
was awesome.
It was it was a bestseller. So
And
actually,
was
Greg,
cameo.
who'd you pulled up the list of all the people on there, like some examples.
Basis
Who were on
from
that?
Whitesnake. I remember.
Yeah, basis from White. Rudy Sarzo, Vivian Campbell, or no, not Vivian Campbell was on it.
Yeah, you said
Maybe Vivian Campbell was on it. Paul Stanley, Michael Anthony from Van Halen,
Alice Cooper,
guys from Megadeth.
The opening track to
Someone
the
from Van
movie
Halen.
was created
Michael
by
Anthony.
a 1980s super group of some of the best
Yeah.
of the day.
The drummers.
Tommy Lee.
Tommy
Yeah.
Tommy
Lee
Lee
was
was the
in there.
drummer on the opening song.
It's like they watched Maximum Overdrive. Like, we can get more than just AC/DC.
The music supervisor for the entire film is one of the guys in the supergroup, I think.
Actually, yeah, I think I saw that.
He's also
That never ever happens.
He's one of the
anymore.
vocalists. He's one of he's the other vocalist besides Paul Stanley.
So, really, in the end, this movie's just brought down by one vital element, and unfortunately, it's the foundation that this movie's built on. It's the script.
It was very frustrating.
Well, you gotta know that you've got a bad idea on your hands when there are 4 third acts in the film that start 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
So I would say
pointlessness.
Yeah.
So I would say the lesson that we can learn from Shocker is that if you have a lot of good ideas, they don't necessarily need to be in one story. I believe that's what we can take from
Yeah. Too many cool ideas.
And if you have one really good idea, just stick with that.
Just stick with that and just and let it bloom from that.
And reread your script and rewrite it.
Yes.
You did multiple drafts.
Yes, not everyone is Bill Shakespeare. They cannot have a good story on the first draft.
I don't think he even. I think he rewrote some
His
stuff.
scripts are 4 hours long. Trust me, they were the first drafts.
Well, that's if he was really the one who wrote it.
Hey!
Oh,
Let's not go.
we are not giving anything by Roland Emmerich credence.
No, ever. Except
Ever.
Universal Soldier, I'll give it that.
What about Isaac? Dude, Isaac Asimov. Never mind.
Never mind.
That's another YouTube video.
That's what we do. iRobot.
No, in the name of God and all that's holy.
Oh, but we wouldn't be the Cinema Schlock Society if we didn't.
Yeah, we have to face
If we
that.
didn't spit in the face of all that is holy.
Yeah.
And just so we can do that, we should wrap up now. So, in conclusion, thank you for joining us for this Halloween edition of the Cinema Schlock Society. And see you next time.
And 976 Evil was done by Robert Englund. My bad.
That was his bad.
Totally my
Exactly.
Totally.
All right, somebody go for the camera. All right.
I don't think he's dead. Contact. He's among you.
Now, Wes Craven brings you his greatest creation. Shocker.